People of the Interbuts, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host as always, Murpho, and I am here to break down the final E3 2017 press conference, press show, press event, whatever you want to call it, and that is Nintendo. I have already talked about Ubisoft, Sony, and the PC gaming show. If you want, go check out those videos. Did not talk about EA, Microsoft, and Bethesda because I was busy over the weekend. Anyway, let's get right into the Nintendo show. The Nintendo show this year was short and sweet. Kind of alright. It was solid, strong. I wouldn't say amazing, which has been kind of the trend. If you haven't noticed from my other videos or my other reaction live streams over on Twitch. Good stuff. Nothing really like too jaw-breaking or like mark out crazy, go insane. But let's just, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's just dive right into the show. Things started off, of course, with Reggie Fils-Aimé, I believe, doing an intro. And we also got an ARMS trailer, just say, hey, ARMS is coming out soon. Then we jumped right into a big reveal for Nintendo, a big get, third-party-wise, for Nintendo. Rocket League is coming to the Switch, which is huge for Rocket League fans who want to play on the go. Because currently it's on the other consoles, but you can't really take it anywhere. It's not on the Vita. I don't even think Vita games are being made anymore. If they are, they're being like not really publicized. And it's not on any of the Nintendo mobile systems. And it's not on mobile yet. So this, with the Nintendo Switch, finally allows Rocket League fans to play on a console and then play as they go. If they're traveling somewhere, if they're going to be somewhere else and they want to play Rocket League or they want to bring Rocket League over, they just got to bring their Switch, which is great. It's awesome. I think it was a huge get for Nintendo, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be very successful on that platform because it brings mobility and mobile gaming to that title, which is not a very demanding title graphics-wise, so it'll handle fine on the Switch. Huge get for the Switch. Then we saw that a Xenoblade Chronicles is coming out this holiday season, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I own Xenoblade Chronicles 1 for the 3DS. I have not played it yet. This makes me want to play it because it looks really, really good. Looks like such a good JRPG. I'm excited to see it. Then we moved on and we found out there is a new Kirby game that is coming out. And it looks awesome as well. Kirby looks a lot of fun. Traditional Kirby gameplay. Sucks up the enemies, absorbs their powers by eating them and all that stuff. Not so much in the vein of Kirby's Woolly World or Kirby's Epic Yarn. More traditional Kirby gameplay and stuff like that. However, there was no release date for that, but however, we're getting a new Yoshi game, which looks like that aesthetic, like Yoshi's Woolly World. Looks like it might be a Yoshi's Woolly World sequel. You get to play as Yoshi, and there's an interesting dynamic with this game where it's a 2D platformer where you can move around it like three-dimensionally on the 2D surface of the background. However, you can hit a button and flip that 2D background, and there's a whole nother platforming section on the other side of the background, and you're basically going to be able to use that to traverse certain maps or complete certain objectives, or maybe solve certain puzzles, which looks really, really cool. I like it. Not really any other details, no release date or anything, nothing there. But then we got two huge announcements. First off is what I consider to be the big one. The Pokemon Company came on and announced, hey, Pokkén Tournament DX is coming out, which is cool. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon is coming out for the Switch, along with the Pokkén Tournament, which is cool. But they also said, hey, we know that you guys want to see a Pokemon game on the Switch, and we're going to tell you, it's at least more than a year away from now, but Pokemon Company is working on a game from Game Freak, a core Pokemon game, which is a core RPG a la blue, red, yellow, green, silver, gold, pearl, diamond, black, white, sun, moon, all that stuff. So we are finally going to see, at long last, a Pokemon game come to a console, which is perfect because it's the Switch, so you can pick it up, play it traditionally, mobilely on the Switch tablet, or you can plug it into a console and play it there. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. This is what people have been asking for since we heard about the Switch. We even asked for it when the Wii U was coming out. And the Wii U was out, but we never got it. We were hoping maybe we could play it on the gamepad or get some second screen stuff. Never happened, but we're finally getting it now on the Switch, and I am more than excited. They can take all the time they want. I'm just glad that they announced it, that we know that it's in the works, that it's going to eventually happen. And along the lines of that, just simply announcing something and letting us know it's in the works, we also know that there is a new Metroid game coming out, Metroid Prime 4. We didn't really get anything else. All we got was the logo for Metroid Prime 4, and it just said currently in development for the Nintendo Switch. Which, if you ask me, I think that's good on Nintendo to do that, because traditionally, historically with E3, when games are announced a year in advance, it doesn't work out too well because, and I think it's mostly because trailers are provided with the game to give you sort of a perceived expectation of what the game's going to look like. However, when it's years in advance, I think that's a bad move. And as a result, companies in more recent years have been shying away from even revealing it. But I think Nintendo did it in a very tasteful way. All they showed was the logo. They showed the title. They basically said, hey, there's a new Metroid Prime game out right now. It's going to be Metroid Prime 4 right now. It's in development. We don't know when it's coming out. Do not expect it anytime soon, but we just want you to know we're working on it. Same thing they did with Nintendo. I think that's awesome. That's great. Good on Nintendo for doing that. We saw a new Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Warriors, which is going to launch this fall on the Nintendo Switch. We got to see Marth in action, which you guys might know from the Super Smash Brothers games and series, which is really sweet. Then we saw 2 DLC packs are coming out for Breath of the Wild. They're going to be packaged together in an expansion pass for $20. The first one is coming out at the end of the month, June 30th, which is the Master Trials content. And then we are getting a Champions Ballad that's going to hit in the holiday. It's going to have, I believe it looks like Zelda and 4 champions from 4 of the races in Breath of the Wild. And each of those champions is going to get an amiibo that you can use with the game. So amiibo fans who are huge collectors, that's not my thing, but if it's your thing, it's got to be good news. I got to assume it's good news for you guys because that's more amiibos and collectibles you can grab. And then finally, the show ended really quickly. It only took 25 minutes. I think it was even shorter than Bethesda's press conference. It ended with, of course, Super Mario Odyssey, which showcased the main mechanic of the game, which is Cappy. Cappy is this top hat that has befriended Mario to help him save Princess Peach from getting forcibly married to Bowser. He is normally a top hat, but he's morphed himself into look like Mario's hat. And basically, Cappy's ability is whenever you throw Cappy at any object or enemy, so it can be anything from a electric wire, a taxi cab, a regular human, a Koopa, a Goomba, a Bullet Bill, a Chain Chomp, a taxi, or even a T-Rex. Yes, there are T-Rexes in the game that are there. You throw your hat on a Cappy. Throw Cappy onto their head, and Mario takes over and controls them, which is ridiculous. It's an amazing design, and that's what they've decided to base this entire game around, which is brilliant. I think it's one of the best mechanics in the Mario series for a while, or ever. I think it's really fun. You get to see yourself throwing hats in a Bullet Bill, and you control Bullet Bills to guide yourself and platform yourself to where you need to go. And you can do that with a bunch of different stuff. You do that on the electrical wires to go from building to building. It's really, really cool. And then we got to see more as the as the show ended. They went right into a treehouse video on the show floor of them playing a Mario Odyssey demo, which showed them in the new Donk City, which is based off of Donkey Kong, it seems like. And the main reason why the game is called Odyssey is because the name of your ship in the game is called the Odyssey, and you use that to travel from world to world to get to where you need to go to find Peach and Bowser and to save Peach. Now, the Odyssey needs these moon pieces, in order to power it to certain worlds you can't get to unless you have certain moon pieces. You get moon pieces, single moon pieces, by doing certain objectives around each map, around each world, and you get a super or mega, I believe it is, moon piece, which is 3 for 1 for beating the world's boss. A lot of the bosses in this game are these group of enemies employed by Bowser to stop Mario, make sure the wedding goes off without a hitch. And they're these rabbit characters. I cannot remember what their actual technical name is in the game. The one that you faced that was shown off in the demo was a lady rabbit. She had a long braid that she would attach bombs to, and she would chuck at you. And she also had a helmet to protect herself to keep you from jumping on her. The way to beat her is whenever she chucked a bomb at you, you use Cappy to deflect it back on her, knocked her to the ground, you would jump on her. after she took damage from being jumped on, she would go up into her hat as if it was a UFO, drop bombs on the map, which would give off lava. They would fill the part of the map with little lava spots that would like eventually go away, but you had to stay away from them, maneuver. Some really cool mechanics, traditional Mario style. If you played, from Mario 64 and on, it's along those lines. Very interesting. And then once you beat her, obviously you get the 3 moon pieces. There was also probably the best part of the entire demo, though, hands down, is there are certain parts in each world, in each game, where you simply cannot platform any further in the 3D world. However, on the walls that you were next to are images of a 2D warp pipe or a 2D block or 2D bricks or 2D cannons, 2D bullet bills. And what you do is you go into a 3D version of the warp pipe attached to where the 2D version is, and you immediately get sucked in and you become 2D 8-bit classic Mario. Just like he looked like in the original game. If you're wearing certain clothes based on a certain world, for example, in the demo, Mario had a sombrero and a poncho on, he will have an 8-bit version of that on himself. And not only does the gameplay transition into that, and Mario transitions into that upon going through the warp pipe, but the audio changes and reverts back into classic 8-bit Mario audio and music, and it is amazing. I loved it. It was such a nostalgia trip. Just awesome. And they're traditional Super Mario platforming segments that you go in, you jump, you break the blocks, you knock out bullet bills, you platform up, and you get out. And as soon as you get out, everything transitions back into 3D. It's the 3D exterior, but you're watching the 2D on the world. And once you jump back into the 3D world, Mario turns back into 3D. The music and the sound bites go back into the 3D traditional world. It is amazing. I love it. And this really makes me want to get this game. This really makes me want to switch because I want to play the Super Mario game. It's the first Super Mario game in a long, long time that I really, 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 really want to play. So good on Nintendo for that. And with that, that was it pretty much for the Nintendo E3 press conference. Like technically the Treehouse thing with Mario wasn't part of the press conference, but I'm counting it anyway because it happened right afterwards. It was along the lines of what Ubisoft did. So good on both of them for understanding, we're not going to make you wait a couple days for these demos. If we can't fit them in our show, we're going to put it right after the show so that way you guys get a taste for some of our games, or at least our big flagship games. So good on both of those guys, and I feel like that really enhances their press shows and makes me value them higher than others. If I'm looking back in retrospect and trying to rank all of these press conferences from the week, overall I think E3 2017 was a good show as far as press conferences go, but not a great show as we've seen in past years because there weren't too many jaw-dropping moments. I feel like some press conferences fell flat in one degree while others fell flat in another. Sometimes they were polar opposites, and like if you had found the median between the two, it would have been the perfect press conference. But if I had to rank them, I would probably say Ubisoft, I think, had the best press conference. Then it's close between Microsoft and Nintendo. They were both very close because Microsoft had a very fair balance of explaining what games do, gameplay trailers and stuff. The Scorpio stuff was kind of meh. And Nintendo, short but sweet, hit all the notes it needed to, and the Treehouse afterwards was good. After that, I would probably put Sony below that, which is close in with EA, which both were kind of had the problems of the other, where it was like kind of underwhelming. Not that the trailers weren't good or the talking wasn't good. It was just with EA there was too much talking, and with Sony there was too much just videos and not enough just talking about like the mechanics in the games and everything. Put them together, you have I think a perfect press conference, which I just mentioned about a minute or so ago. And then at the bottom is Bethesda, because I feel like they just had a show for the sake of having a show because they've had one for the last few years. And there really wasn't anything new or exciting, or they didn't really go too in-depth with a lot of stuff. But that is E3 2017, guys. That is bringing everything to a close. All my reactions are done. If you haven't seen them yet, be sure to go check out my Ubisoft, Sony, and PC Gaming Show ones. PC Gaming Show, if I would rank it, I would probably rank it probably at the same level, if not a little bit higher than EA. I feel like it almost had the same problem as EA, where there was almost too much talking. But anyway, Don't forget to check out my full reactions to that. If you guys want to know what I think of any news coming out of E3 from here until the end of the week, or you want to hear about my thoughts more about the stuff that I already discussed, or EA, Bethesda, and Microsoft, be sure to check out the Super Grapple Bros podcast. It'll be coming live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/L_Murpho this Friday. It will be here on YouTube on Saturday. My brother and I are going to be breaking down all kinds of E3 stuff. We're probably going to, unless Money in the Bank is a Sunday, which I don't think it is, we're probably just going to be talking a lot of E3 and just blowing through the wrestling stuff for the week. So be sure to come back and check that out if you want to hear more about my takes on the rest of E3, as well as my brother's takes on everything else, because he hasn't had a chance to really speak yet, because, you know, he's a father of 3 and he is very, very busy. But thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed these videos. I really like doing like these kind of like just me recording in my room with my background here, just talking into the camera, vlog style, reacting to things. So I might be doing more of this stuff in general, not just video game wise, but maybe like comic book wise and movie wise and stuff like that. Just sort of reactions and hot take kind of things. So I hope this is the beginning of something awesome here for the channel, new content and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all again so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, of course, subscribe to the channel, bell button to join the notification squad. Patreon.com/LMurpho. Check out the cool rewards there and everything. Again, Twitch, twitch.tv/L_Murpho. I live stream there every week, different games and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm on a PC kick, so I'm doing a lot of PUBG, a lot of Overwatch, some Friday the 13th. So good stuff over there. Thank you all again so much for watching. Until I see you again, may your game be true. E3 2017 out. Deuces.